Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is Cole's Farm in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Just a hobbyist backyard beekeeper. I am certified with the state though. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. We are also a veteran-owned business proud member. So if you are active duty or a veteran and you haven't checked out VOB, veteran-owned business, I would suggest that you do so. Pretty nice company. Sign up with them. They'll share your information on their website and send you a nice package of stickers to put on maybe your hive smoker. Alright, so hey, I'm over here at hive number 5. This was a swarm that I removed. Well, let me back up. I did not remove it. My buddy gave it to me. He lives 3 miles directly, let's see, what do we got here? This happens every time. Northwest of me. So I moved them over here to the property a few weeks ago. This will be the 3rd inspection, I believe. 2nd or 3rd? I think it's the 3rd. And it should be the 3rd. Last week when I inspected them, two frames that I moved over here that had 4 swarm cells on them, 2 of those swarm cells hatched out. So this week I'm really checking for the queen. If I can find her, that'd be fantastic. And if I can't find her, the next best thing is to find eggs. So enough me yapping. Let's see if they are truly queen right yet. That would be fantastic if they are. And as you can see in the background, I removed a few deeps. Actually, let me do this. This was a tip that a few folks online have been sharing to check your inner cover for the queen. I have never found the queen on the inner cover, but I'm not saying that can't happen. So like I was saying, as you can see in the background, I have a few deeps, a few deeps sitting on top of the other hives. I removed them. There's a video about that. The reason I'm talking about it is because it provides me with quite a few drawn frames, which, not so much for this one, but if this hive needs a boost in drawn frames for the queen to start laying in, I might swap a few out so they can have, or she can have, more space. But looks like they're making pretty good use of the sugar water I'm giving them. They're packing away a ton of nectar or food and capping some of it. That could also be natural resources too, because this time of year in eastern North Carolina, there is a nectar flow on right now. So the field bees that this colony does have, that could be natural nectar I'm looking at, or it could be food, I was going to say food water, it could be sugar water. Because again, as mentioned before, something that I always forget to do is dye the sugar water an unnatural color, so I can see, you can kind of trace where the bees are storing it. Alright, so again, I'm looking for either a queen or, let me look at the other side real quick. I'm either trying to find a queen or I'm trying to find eggs. So that's weird. I just experienced that in a, you might have been staring at my back that whole time. I just experienced this in a previous hive today, is this here, this uncapped brood. So that's previously capped brood that the bees are uncapping for one of 2 reasons, either because of disease or possibly because of starvation. Because they don't have enough food, but judging by how this colony is storing food and everything, I'd be surprised if it's the latter, if it's because of starvation. So again, it's a big old drone. Just looking for the queen. If I can't find the queen, like usual, checking for eggs. check this frame real quick for some eggs. Don't see any. I'm also not really surprised by that. Okay. That was the second frame that had some queen cells on them. So there could be a virgin queen in here, and she's just hard to find. And the best thing to do is just give them more time, which is most likely what I'm gonna do. But before I box them up, I'm gonna remove some of these. I'm gonna remove these last 3 frames here that really don't have anything going on with them, and give them some of the more drawn out frames, like especially this one. Check that out. It's almost useless really right now. Gonna give them some more of the drawn out frames from one of the deeps. I mean, that has a lot of food, nectar, and some pollen, which is a good addition to them, but once they use that up or move it around, it'll give the queen some space to lay too. Same thing with this one here. And same thing with this one. So remove 3 frames that were just bare. They didn't have anything going on with them. Let me check these 2 frames again. And I might be able to show you where the queen cells were if they haven't completely torn them down. Yeah, there's one there at the bottom, if you can see that or not. And the next frame has the other. And a newly hatched queen is pretty elusive. They're not just meandering about. There was one of the queen cells right there, I believe. But yeah, this frame has a few. They're uncapping some of the brood, which I'm really not sure what to make of that just yet. But considering I just noticed last week that the 2 frames with the queen cells hatched, it is pretty early to tell still, I guess. So either way, I'm just going to box them back up. Box them back up and let them get back to what they were doing. And there's a ton of bees inside the inner covers, or not inner cover, but the side of the box as well. So she could be anywhere right now. So just a quick look. The first frame is not brand new, but just bare foundation. So I'm going to try and find another good frame for them. That's a pretty good one. Old comb, some nectar in there, but that'll give her a lot of space to lay in once she starts to expand the brood nest. Alright, that's it for now. Hive number 5. Looks like the queen cells emerged as early as last week. No sign of a mated queen just yet. Didn't find any eggs or anything. And also, as you can see, I didn't find the queen. So that happened with a previous hive within the last month or so. Same scenario, but as time passed, sure enough, the queen returned at some point, started laying eggs, and then I think I actually found her during one inspection. So I guess the moral of that story is, if you're unsure, sometimes the best thing to do is nothing at all. Box them back up and just give them more time. I guess that is something. Yeah, just give them more time, and you'd be surprised as time passes, hives will resolve their issues and become queen right, and sometimes become one of your strongest hives. So that does it for this week for hive number 5, routine inspection. of the swarm that moved over here a few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. But yeah, there you go. Typical, very, very typical look at the front entrance. A lot of commotion, bees just trying to get out of the way. And that's usually where they go to hang out. Alright, Cole's Farm, Jacksonville, North Carolina. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you hit the bell, you'll receive notifications of future videos. Tune in next week for another weekly inspection of hive number 5.